Up next, we live it up and cover all the angles with Gloria Gaynor. With us now is Gloria Gaynor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here. It's such a beautiful home.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to have you.
Now, you were telling me earlier that you grew up in Newark, and you stayed true to your Newark roots because you're doing a lot of outreach in Newark and helping families. Tell us about that.
Well, I'm hoping to open a healing, learning, and recreational center for teenage parents. It was my original intention to open up a standalone organization, but now I've found that there are lots of things already happening in New Jersey, and particularly in Newark, and I don't want to or don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm hoping to partner with an organization that is already offering the services that I hoped to offer to young families. And so now I'm wanting to partner with them because they agree with me that the young fathers are being underserved. So that will be my focus.
Fabulous. And that's also a part of the whole survivalship, like, you know, finding your soul, finding your truth, and, you know, the whole I will survive. And now you're writing a book called How We Survive.
Yes.
Tell us about that because I'm fascinated.
Well, the we is the people who have been my fans and friends for many years and have been telling me the stories about how I Will Survive has had a positive impact on them when they were going through different difficult and sometimes even traumatic situations and circumstances in their lives.
It's the anthem for every breakup, you know, but also serious things, you know.
Yes.
I was recently talking to a woman that's surviving cancer, and when I told her I had an opportunity to meet you, she, like a little tear welled up in her eyes because she listens to the song a lot, and it really does, you know, but you being you, you probably didn't realize maybe at first the impact you were having.
Well, when I first heard the song, it had a great impact on me because at that time I was performing the song, recording the song in a back brace because I'd fallen on stage at a Beacon Theater in New York City doing a performance and woke up the next morning paralyzed from the waist down. And 3 months later, I'm in the studio, 4 months later, I'm in the studio recording the song in a back brace and relating that incident to this song. So I thought if I'm doing that, other people will probably do the same. Even though the song is primarily about unrequited love, it is a song of hope and encouragement, and you can extract that from the song. And I think a lot because of how I sung it and what I was feeling when I sung it. The people can receive all of that and be encouraged and uplifted.
It is magical. It does have power. And now that I know the story behind it, you know, you can actually hear it in your voice. It's a beautiful thing. Now, the book is going to be a compilation of stories.
Yes, a compilation of stories that people are sending in to me, to my website. They can go to my website, which is, of course, gloriagaynor.com, and log on to the contact section and reason for contacting, and just type up their story for me and give me permission to use it in the book. So it's going to be a compilation of those really heartfelt and experienced, lived stories from my fans and friends who have been following me and who I've been encouraging through the years.
It's absolutely wonderful. And you also have a new CD that you're going to be releasing, a new single with that.
Yes, it's a contemporary Christian single, a CD that is going to have like 5 or 6 songs on it, and all very, again, uplifting, encouraging songs.
And when you get ready to go on stage time after time, where do you generate the essence of who you are? How does that come about when you have to be Gloria Gaynor?
Well, I always pray before I go on stage. I pray for for my voice, of course. I pray for the musicians and the electricity and all of that. But I also pray that God will prepare people's hearts to hear a message from Him through me. So that's really my preparation for the show, and my intention, what I go out there with, and probably why I have so much fun doing it. I always leave the stage hoping they had as much fun as I did.
Well, I can guarantee you that every time I have seen you perform, I've had a lot of fun. Great. You go home with that feeling of just energy, you know, after one of your concerts, you feel like exactly like uplifted, like you could fly possibly, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be a fan of yours. So, now when you started performing, what was the moment that you knew that you had a gift? Like who said something to you? What was that like?
Well, somebody did say something to me. I would never forget standing in the stairwell of the building that I lived in, and I was waiting for my friend to come down and play with me, and a neighbor came down from upstairs, and I was standing there singing, and when she got down to where I was, she said, "Gloria, was that you singing?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh my God, I thought that was the radio." And I thought, "Ooh, I must sound pretty good. I must have a good voice. I think I'll be a singer." Yeah.
And then how did you start out doing that? Did you ever take vocal lessons at all? No. Or what was your journey like then?
I didn't take any formal vocal lessons, but looking back over my young life, I realized that I did take vocal lessons from some teachers who had no idea they were teaching me. And that was Nat King Cole and Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra, Gloria Lynn, people from whom I learned the techniques of singing, such as diction and phrasing and how to stretch my range and things like that. I learned just from listening to their recordings and trying to do those things as well as they did.
And how about stage presence? You know, when you get out there on the stage, you can't just stand in one place.
Right.
You really seem to me like you're embracing your audience.
Yeah.
How does that happen for you?
Well, way back when I was in high school, I was a member of the Girls Glee Club and a member of the mixed chorus, and we were doing a Christmas show, and I was asked to do a solo. And the day of the show, we were all backstage, and everyone was asking me, was I nervous? And I was like, nervous about what? I mean, I've been, I know these kids, I've known them for 4 years. It's a big deal. I go out there and sing a song. And I went out on the stage, and I stood in the elbow of the piano. It was just the teacher and me. And she played the introduction to the song, and I opened my mouth, and nothing came out. And I was terrified. Well, I was already terrified because when I first walked out on the stage and looked out into the audience, all I saw was what seemed to be a million eyes, all staring at me. So she played the introduction a second time, and I opened my mouth, and nothing came out. And I was like huffing and puffing and thinking, oh my God, I gotta do this. It's worse than not singing, worse than singing, and them not liking me is not singing at all. I gotta do something. And so I pushed with all my might as she played the introduction the third time, and my voice came out, and I sang the song, and I got a standing ovation.
Wow.
And it was great. And so I went backstage, and the teacher came back, and she said to me, Gloria, I know what happened. I know how frightened you were. She said, but I want you to know something. When you walk out on that stage, people are amazed that you have the nerve to even walk out there. She said, when you do that, you are in complete control. You have complete control of that audience. You can either hold on to it or you can give it up. I decided to hold on to it. I never had stage fright again.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that. That's really powerful because, you know, a lot of times that does happen. You know, it takes a lot of courage to even walk out there on the stage.
Yeah.
But good for you for not giving up because that could have completely changed your destiny.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I figured, well, I did have the courage to go out there, and if that's all I needed, well, I got it made, so it's nothing to be afraid of.
How about in your professional life? You know, ever have a challenge that you needed to overcome yourself? On stage or in life or? Well,
I've had challenges and I've been, I can't possibly call it stage fright because I wasn't frightened, but I was nervous on stage. Once I went on a diet and lost a lot of weight, and I went out put on this outfit, and I thought I looked fabulous, and I walked out on the stage and my skirt was coming off. As I walked, I stepped into my skirt and it was coming down, and I was like, ooh, what do I do now? And then another time I was on stage and I had gained some weight and my zipper was coming down on my skirt, and I was like, oh God, I'll be right back.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And when you are the artist, it's not like somebody else can just pick up where you went off. So did you just kind of gracefully
just
dance right off
and let the band
dance back on?
With it and dance back on.
That's a great story. Yeah, things happen. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, they do.
And where are you traveling to now? You're playing a lot. You're going to be touring.
Yes.
Okay.
In about 10 days now, I'm going first to Dubai and then to the Philippines, Manila. So I haven't been to Manila in, well, since 1975. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing the changes there. I hope I can remember enough of it to be able to recognize the changes, because it's been quite a long time, but we were excited about the trip.
And when you become an international, legend, global artist, when you first play abroad, how does that feel when you're playing on foreign soil and the receiving of that?
Well, I think that you get past your first performance before you realize what you're doing, because you're so excited. You're so excited to be there, so excited to be wanted, accepted, received by a foreign audience, that your adrenaline is flowing and it's really, really great. And then you get home and you go, what did I just do? What happened? Oh my God, I'm in another place. I'm in another country. They don't even understand what I'm saying. Did they like me? Did they understand? And you go through all those questions, but you do get past that first performance, and that helps you with the rest of them, because then you recognize, you look back and you think, yeah, they clapped, they applauded. I got a standing ovation. They were singing along. So yeah, it's cool. I can do this.
They invited you back, right?
Exactly.
They wanted more. And tell us about your Broadway experience. Besides just being this, I would love to hear a little bit about that.
That was wonderful. It was great being on stage on Broadway. It was wonderful performing for a New York audience, which are generally so jaded that that's the most intimidating audience that you can ever perform for. But I was made to feel so at ease, and it was so much fun working with the cast that I worked with there, and the producer and the stage director. Just everybody was just so wonderful. The night before the first show, I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I stumped my toe. And I thought, oh, this really hurts. I better put some ice on it. So I put some ice on it. And then the next morning, the toe was swollen and still hurting. So I think I better go to the doctor. So I called them and told them I needed to go to the doctor. And they said, no, come to our doctor. So I went into New York and went to their doctor. And he said, the toe is broken.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't put my shoes on. He says, well, there's nothing we can do. We can put your toe in a splint. There's nothing we can do. But if you like, I can numb your toe, and then you can at least put your shoes on and get through the show. So I said, okay, well, he did that. I put my shoes on, did the show, first night, open night, great, absolutely wonderful. And every night after that, the doctor came to the show, to my dressing room, and gave me a shot in my toe. Well, by Saturday, the toe was so sore. It felt fine once the needle was in, but to get the needle was a horror. So that Saturday afternoon, just before the matinee, he's there and he's about to put this needle in my toe, and I am cringing because, oh my God, this is so painful. And he says, took a pillow, he says, here, bite down on this. So I grabbed the pillow, bit down on it, broke my front tooth.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
unless you're playing the scarecrow, I don't know if that's a good luck.
I know. So I'm like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put this tooth back in with some crazy glue, and I'm going out on the stage. And if everything is all right, fine. But if it comes out off during this, I'm leaving. Somebody's going to have to finish my song, because I'm not going to be standing there looking like I should be singing All I Want for Christmas Is My One Front Tooth. So I went out, I did this, everything went fine. Between shows, I went to the dentist and had a temporary put in and finished the second show. Everything went great. The theater is closed on Monday. Well, Tuesday when I came in, I opened the door to where the dressing rooms are, and the cast was standing there. One with a leg in a cast, one with an arm in a cast, one with a thing around the neck, one with something on the head. Like, you guys are insane. You are just insane. They said, well, that's what you get for raising the bar, because there's no way we can come in here anymore and say, we can't perform because we've got a cold.
Right, it's like a broken toe, a broken tooth. It doesn't matter, the show went on.
Right.
Fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
It was great.
When did you decide, too, that for you, that there was no turning back? When was the moment that you said, I'm going to be Gloria Gaynor, I'm going to sing, and that's my life?
Wow. When did I do that? I was asked to work with a band, and we performed in a club in New York, and we performed there, in New Jersey rather, I'm sorry, in New Jersey, and we performed there for 4 nights, and then Saturday night they told me that we'd gotten a show in Canada. Well, I'm a young girl who's never been out of New Jersey, so now I'm going to Canada, and I'm thinking, we're leaving the country, we're international, yeah, baby, this is it. That's when I decided, yeah.
It was the feeling.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, this is easy. I could do this. 4 days, you're international. This is a piece of cake.
And you never looked back.
Never looked back.
It's a beautiful story. You know, people just love you.
Thank you.
You know, they really do. You know, like it's such, like Gloria Gaynor is, yes, it's who you are as a woman, but it's also who you are as a woman to the world, you know? And I'm so blessed and thankful that you spent this time with us today.
Oh, thank you.
And you're funny too, like you have a funny teapot collection. There's like so much about you that I think people, if they look behind the music and they see the woman behind the music, they see the world.
Well, thank you, that's nice to hear.
It's true.
That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Happy journeys to you.
Thank you. I am having happy journeys.
Absolutely. It's GloriaGaynor.com?
Yes.
Okay, GloriaGaynor.com. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. A great pleasure.